So maybe, just maybe, everything's not about race. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you an update on the story I did about 5 to 6 weeks ago. Now, remember, there was a small town in North Carolina called Kinley, and they had a brand new black female city manager. And shortly after she comes on board, the entire police force resigns. Now, that story, that headline was so sensational. The entire police force. It makes you think like NYPD, 1,000 guys lay down their gun and badge, when really it was only 5 guys that quit, including the police chief. And they were already understaffed before she got there. It should have been 8 full-time officers in Kinley. Again, small town, North Carolina. It was only 5, and they all left. And I think there were also some employees within the department that quit who were not officers. Now, since I believe everyone who quit was white and she is black, people put 2 and 2 together and said, oh, it's because of racism. Although the officer said the woman produced a toxic work environment and they were already understaffed. Now, the update is she's been fired. So is that racism too? Or is it the fact that the officers are saying the correct thing as far as her work performance not being very good? Now, before I go any further, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you're going to see local news out there in North Carolina speak on the situation. And after we get done watching that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what was said there. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents and my deep detailed analysis. And then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Town Council voting 3-2 last night to terminate a contract with Justine Jones. Tamara Scott joins us live with what's next in the search for a new town manager there. Tamara?
Good afternoon. Well, I spent the day here in Kinley and I got a lot of reaction from people. Unfortunately, not a lot of people want to speak on camera to us, but I'm told they just want to know what their town is going to do moving forward. The town of Kinley this morning doesn't look much different, but come Friday, they will be without a town manager and a police force. Last night, the town council voted 3-2. Town manager Justine Jones is out. This comes after hearing results of a weeks-long investigation into allegations of a hostile or toxic work environment. It was former police chief Josh Gibson who alleged that Jones made work conditions unbearable, that he and the entire police force quit. Jones started the position in June, and she beat out 30 candidates for the job, and the vote to hire her was unanimous. I stopped by several businesses today to ask how they feel moving forward. Few wanted to comment on camera, but an unnerving feeling of what's next was very common. Miss Edna has lived here 60 years, and she says she just wants a fresh start.
Start all over, get every new person that has anything to do with the town. New manager, new chiefs, new policemen. Don't get none of them. If you don't, you can still have that little itch in there.
Now, as for today, the doors here at Town Hall are locked. A lot of people coming by to drop off their water bills are not able to do so, but we are told that Jones is supposed to finish out this week, and then the search for a new town manager begins. Tamara Scott, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, I don't think we're dealing with racism right here. I think that the city council is like, okay, you're not doing a very good job. The police said you're not doing a very good job, so we got to go. And now you got to go. And the person who had been fired, I think her name is Justine Jones. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But she had gone from place to place to place. She's not like, a stable career person from what I'm able to see. Maybe it's customary in that field to go to different jobs a lot and not stay in one place for a long time. But she appears to have hopped from job to job to job. And there was a racial situation at a previous employer. I think it might have been a lawsuit. I don't think this case is racial. Could the previous thing have been racial? It could have been. I'm not going to say there's never an episode of racism that happens. Please don't misunderstand me. But what I am saying is that there's a record, there's a history here, and this particular case does not appear to be that. Now, to her credit, I've not heard her come out and say that there's racism here and there's foul play. What I see is the internet's trying to take up for her, talking about, oh, well, She's a black woman and they don't want to work for a black woman. I don't think guys really want to hand over their pension, hand over their 20-year police career because a black woman is a city manager. And I'm not quite sure that's how that works as far as her being the boss. I think it's more about the police chief being the boss of the police force. You know, she and the mayor, I'm not sure if they have a mayor in Kinley. Maybe she is the equivalent of a mayor. I'm not really sure. But regardless of what's going on, the issue is you have a toxic work environment, and that happens. It doesn't really matter what color the boss is or the city manager or supervisor or whatever. You all know that. If you've ever been in corporate America, that's not really been my experience. I've tried to go to corporate America, but before I even got there, I saw some of the toxic work environment, the jealousy, the backbiting. Before I even got there, I'm talking about during the interview process. From the interviewer, I would see some of that type of energy. I would feel the energy, and I could see it around me in the office. And it doesn't matter. The person could be white, they could be black, they could be Puerto Rican, they could be Kenyan stripe. People sometimes have a hard time getting along with other people. People sometimes have a hard time being able to direct and lead and do their job properly. We know that everybody can't do their job properly. Now, if I say that, does it mean that it's racist? I don't think so. I don't believe so. Same way with a politician. Let's say people quit Kamala Harris's team, her staff, or another conservative Republican white person or a black person. If people are quitting their staff, must the automatic assumption be there's racism involved? Or maybe, hey, maybe that person isn't great to work with. Maybe they're creating a toxic work environment. Maybe they don't have good people skills, communication skills. Why must everything be devolved down into something as simple as racism? I don't think that's what's going on here. So yeah, she's been fired, and I'm sure it won't be the first or the last time, judging by her record. I'm not trying to hate on her. I'm not trying to dump dirt on her. I'm just saying, from what I'm able to see, that's what it appears like. Either she resigns or she gets fired and then she moves on. That's pretty much what it is. So as I close, I want to say this. I think when you see something that may be racist in the eyes of some people, the best thing to do, rather than just jumping out there and saying it's racist, is to just ask questions. It's like, well, wait a minute. Why did the police force quit? Toxic work environment. What's going on with her previous work history? Like, let's look into it for real. Let's look into what she says, but I've not heard her speak. But if she does speak, listen to what she says. Look into it. The police, they've spoken. Look into what they say. Look into it and figure out what's going on. That should be the ultimate situation here. And I think the city council realized what's going on. They got her up out of there. Now, one elephant in the room before I wrap it up for real. They showed the city council, if I'm not mistaken, and they said 3 out of the 5 voted to fire her. But they only showed, I think it might have been 4 people, 3 white guys or white people and 1 black person. Now, was the other person black? Was it along racial lines? Is it divided like that in North Carolina? I don't think so. Like I say, I'm from Virginia originally. That's where I was raised. Born in West Virginia, raised in Virginia, not too far from Kinley. And race relations, at least when I was a youngin' and up until the past few years, were not bad. So is it like that in Kinley or what? I can't tell, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about the whole situation having a conclusion of the city manager, Justine Jones, being fired? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at. I think this is an episode of her not doing a very good job at her job, and she got fired as a result. The same way any of us would be fired if we did not do a good job at our job. It's really just so cut and dry. Why must it always be racism? Is there ever an episode of racism that happens? Sure there is. I'm not going to deny that. But what I will say is that it's not just one-sided. It's not just in one direction. It's not just from white to black. It's from black to white, from white to this, from black to this, and Asian, Hispanic, because everybody engages in it at a certain point. But how much of an impact do these things have on regular, everyday, normie life in America? I don't think they have that much of an impact, at least not the impact that we give it as far as how we treat it. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.